Okay, so when you're doing your leaves for the You Are banner, you want to put your green paper in there. Sorry, my light's coming a little weird today. But your green paper in there so you can get the most leaves that you want out of it. And so by doing that, just keep moving them forward, punching them till you get, I think you need 8 of them. So I'm not going to have you watch me do that. So you have to do that. And then for these pieces to make your little flowers, all you need to do is line up. You don't need to cut the leaves. Unless you want leaves in different colors, you don't need them. And you really don't, I think I probably only used 1 punch of each. But, I mean, this is your project. You can put more. You can add more if you want. So you can actually get 4 of them out of each sheet. So when you punch those, you can do all of that to make your little flowers. Okay. And then the last punching piece that you need to do for this is, these are already scored for you. So you're going to use, and I'm sorry, I always forget the name of this punch. I will literally put it in the instructions. So I started labeling my punches so I would know, and I don't have them all labeled. So we're going to put that in. We're going to make sure you can see I've got it so it's even. And I'm going to do each side. You can use whichever one, or if you have a different one that you prefer, you can do that. But I always like looking at the back side to make sure it's in there straight. Otherwise it gets all wonky and crooked. So then this is going to say You Are. So I just take my little letter and put it on here. So just so you know, I had problems with mine sticking. So I recommend when I show you the flowers, I'm going to show you to use hot glue. I would just use hot glue because they just kept popping open. So you have enough to spell out You Are, and then you have, we made 4 flowers, all different, and then we have the 3 butterflies. So again, I'll get you a PDF with the final pictures of everything so you can see how it all comes together, but that's how those little letters go. And when you put it on the cotton string, you are just going to put them on like this. So you'd put them on like this. I don't have my hot glue up yet, but put your hot glue in there, close it. I even tried using tear and tape and they kept popping open. So I don't know why. Usually tear and tape works really well, but that's how this goes on here. And then the flowers, what I did is when I put those together, and I'll show you how I put the flowers together, I kind of layered them in between when I was putting them together. And this is where you might want to use like some glue dots or use some of those dimensionals that came in your project. So that, I think, is pretty much how you're going to assemble these. I'll do a separate video to show you the flowers. But that is how these pieces get assembled. I don't think you need to watch me do that, but everything was all die cut for you. So we'll do a separate video on the flowers. Okay, so we're gonna make our little flowers that go on the banner. I know you could punch as many as you want. You can add more. For my purposes, I'm only making 4. So what I did is I pulled out 1 of each color for each of the little flower punches, and then I did 8 little leaves. So the first thing you're gonna do is I filled my Stampin' Spritzer up with half alcohol and half water. This just helps it dry a little faster. And I'm gonna spritz my paper. This is gonna help you. I know this makes some people crazy. You're just gonna go ahead and scrunch them up. Okay, scrunch them up. I'm using my my pad here because I don't want it to get wet. Oops, tore it. It's okay, doesn't matter. They might tear a little easier. And then I'm gonna kind of flatten them out so when they dry, they're gonna dry in a shape that I want. So I'm gonna put those aside and I'm gonna repeat with my other little pieces. And I'm only doing 4 at a time so that I can get them scrunched before everything dries. Keeping my surface dry right now by doing this. Okay. And again, boom, boom, boom. We're gonna flatten those out so they can kind of dry. Check out, make sure I'm in frame. I'm doing good, I'm staying in frame. I have a new setup, so this is my first time videoing in my new setup, so I have to be prepared. And then again, same thing again. Boop, 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 boop. Come on, get that over there. Now again, like I said, you could do as many as you want. This is all I'm doing. I have the rest of my little pieces there. I'm just squish, 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 squish them up. And then the paper does not glue super well when it's wet. So I usually am like, ooh, this one didn't get crunchy enough. So I'm going to set them over here while they're drying. I'll prep for the next thing. So while I'm doing that, and while those are kind of sitting aside to dry, if you want to do your leaves, you can do the same thing. The leaves I kind of just little scrunch, and I still have some mist here, so I'm just kind of doing those in half. My still wet there, so that we'll do about 4 of them to get us through this. Okay, and I didn't put 2 leaves on everything. Some of them I only put 1. Okay, so let me show you a fun little trick while those are drying. You'll notice that those little butterflies I put in there for you, I didn't have everything cut out for them. So one of my favorite tools we offer is the Take a Pick tool. And I don't know, I've never included it in a class, maybe I should, but I learned this from another demonstrator. You can take a paper pumpkin box, this is just a paper pumpkin box, or if you have a kit box, and then these accessories are available for die cutting. It comes with 2 of these. It's actually, of course there's not a label on here, I'm so bad with the names. But let me show you this, because see all those little pieces that get everywhere? So I've taken my Take a Pick tool, I've added this accessory on here, and I'm just gonna roll, 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 roll. And while I'm doing that, it's getting all those out. It's like shaping my butterfly, and I don't have a mess everywhere. Isn't that so stinking cute? So save a kit box. Sometimes I ship kits in little boxes like this. I think there was one recently that went out like that. Save that, keep that tool in there, put it away. I keep it on my desk. It doesn't make a mess like all this other stuff. I have a mess here. So that's what I did with those butterflies. What do you think? Okay, so I'm just gonna keep dropping this back over in here. Stay out of my way. And I'm gonna bring my little pad back again. Okay, so you can see I have my, hopefully it's in view. I have like my little mini glue gun. I have my silicone pad. I'm actually gonna move my silicone pad over here because the silicone pad, see I got glue on it, how it just comes right up. So amazing. Especially if you're working with, matter of fact, I'm probably gonna get that out of the way. If you're working with a hot glue gun. And I'm gonna start building out my flowers, what I want it to look like. I've got my 4 bases, and then I'm gonna start arranging what's my next layer. I'll put that one there, that one there. I think I'm gonna flip that one there and that there. And then let's see, pink there. Let's do red there, yellow, done. So I've got my little layers, and now I'm just gonna dollop a little piece of hot glue there and layer these. Like I said, when they're wet, they don't always stick really well, so let it sit for a minute. You can use glue dots as well, but I'm going to tell you, to be quite honest, this seemed to hold together a little bit better for me because we were working with the wet. And you do have to let them sit aside for a minute. So I'm just popping those aside. And then once they're kind of a little more dry and sturdy, I'll shape them a little bit. And you can still move it around a little bit. Oh, this is the one thing I hate about hot glue. Okay. Ooh, that's all right. It all cleans up really well. Okay. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. All right. I was hoping I had my blings open here because I actually have a package of this bling open, but it looks like I'm going to be opening another one because I'm not prepared. So then I'm going to kind of reshape my flowers. I'm going to use my bling. I'm really hoping I have a handy set of bling right here because I've been working on this project. Oh, I do have it. Okay. So I'm going to get each one of these cleaned up, get that extra glue off, crunch them up a little. And then use my pick to decide what centers I want. I think I'm gonna go with the jade on this one and this one. And then I'm gonna do the pink on these two. All right. My center, that one's still a little wet, okay? And then for the leaves, again, I'm just gonna put a little dollop and put them where you want, okay? Now, I remember I said that you need something to kind of attach it to the string. You can use one of your extras that you've cut and attach it between the two of them. You could wait till they're fully dry and use a dimensional between the two, or you can use hot glue, your choice. But what I would do for now is just put these together and then assemble everything at the end when you have everything put together, so you know exactly what you want. Like, see this one, I'm going to give 2 little leaves. These I didn't crinkle and wet, so we're going to get a little roughing it up here. But you got all kinds of paper. That one I just shoved in there. I'm going to do them all a little different. Nothing needs to be exactly the same. I'm going to pop that one on there. And we're going to grab one more leaf here. And for this one, I think I'm going to do it on the opposite side. No, I'm going to do it right there. Okay, so I have all my little flowers put together for my banner. So I'm gonna go and I'm gonna put together the rest of the pieces, and then I'm gonna come back and show you how to assemble it.